We still have more questions than answers on the mysterious drone sightings. Now, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the federal government is starting to assist New Jersey in the investigation. Watch.
I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. We need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited, and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded.
That only took about a month. Dr. Rebecca Grant is a national security and military analyst and an international relations expert, and she joins me now. Dr. Grant, great to see you. Who's in charge of drones right now? Because it sure seems like it's the Wild West out there.
Well, the hard truth, Todd, is that we don't defend the interior of our country against threats on the inside. So no one is in charge of anti-drone monitoring in the U.S. You know, it ought to be Northern Command, which defends all our borders against the Russians and the Chinese bombers up around Alaska. But they really don't have these authorities. It's illegal, actually, to shoot down a drone or any manned aircraft as well. And, you know, we're just in a new world. We need this to be a top priority, and we need to really expand the authority for monitoring and, if necessary, for interception.
I mean, I often show my naivete on this show because I think a lot of the confusion, at least that I have and a lot of the American people has, is because I think we all assume that if it was on or over American airspace, that our military was on it 24/7, that anything flying over was going to be shot down instantaneously, no questions asked, we are safe. And then we saw with the hot air balloon there from China, and now this, that sense of security is definitely pierced, if you will. So, Dr. Grant, are we secure here in the homeland?
Well, that's exactly right. We are secure against threats coming from the outside. You know, if it's a airliner coming in from Europe, we watch and track that very closely. We built a big continental air defense back in the Cold War, and we do have military forces on alert and a big air defense sector, but they look for threats from outside the borders. So what we see now is, you know, a lot of these drones aren't a problem, but some of them look like they could be. And we need an ability to monitor. So Secretary Mayorkas is talking about enhancing capabilities. That probably means sending up a KU or X-band radar with a 360-degree detect. But it's sort of for low and slow flying things around a short area. You know, we don't have blanket coverage of our U.S. airspace and full protection. We protect a few critical things and our borders, and right now that's it. And with this drone situation, it's just not good enough anymore.
Jesus H. Christ. Well, if there is one thing in this world that I hate, it is an unlocked footlocker. You know that, don't you?
Sir, yes, sir.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the is that? What is that, Private Pile?
Sir, jelly donuts, sir.
Is chow allowed in the barracks, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir.
Are you allowed to eat jelly donuts, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir.
Because you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile.
Sir, yes, sir.
I thought I was going to have a Christmas meme to welcome our new Christmas studio for the week of the show, but I guess not, Jerry. Yes. Jerry, you catfished the audience. We were supposed to have Christmas memes. Christmas memes, Jerry. We'll do Christmas memes for the rest of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the magical Christmas season. You can see the Christmas studio set up here. We got the Christmas tree. We got all practical effects. They're all real. Come on. Yes, they're all real. And we have something very exciting for you. The #1 super chat during the show will get your name on a stocking. Yep, it's true. We will put up the #1 super chat for the program, the highest denomination, and every single show, we'll do the show for the entire week, and you'll get your name on a stocking. We will put your handle up on the stocking inside the studio. So one of many small things we're going to do over the next week, say thank you to the audience. We freaking love you, and we are so ready to rock and roll. Today, Today, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump will be live during our show. We will certainly show you that. We will also have border czar Tom Homan on the program today, Monday, December 16th, 2024. We're going to ask Tom Homan about these drones above New Jersey as a whistleblower has come forward and made massive thermonuclear viral news that's been shared by Alex Jones and Joe Rogan over what is the strangest little event that's been occurring right now. What will it lead to? Will it lead to some type of horrific false flag during Trump's inauguration? We don't know. We're going to ask the man who is in charge of America's security, Tom Homan. He can't get power soon enough. Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Daniel Penny all get a hero's welcome at the Army-Navy game. We're going to cover that. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be very excited to hear also from retired New Jersey Police Lieutenant Stephen Rogers, who may or may not be Captain America. Not sure. Shares the same name. We're going to find out today. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Gentlemen and ladies shopping for them, it is time to ditch the mediocre deodorants and step up to Masculine Man deodorant. It's the best-smelling, longest-lasting deodorant on the market, probably made in the USA by hardworking, patriotic men. This isn't just deodorant. It's the lifestyle upgrade. Masculine Man is the best-smelling deodorant, period. Fragrances that rival high-end colognes, long-lasting, no white marks or yellow stains, made in the USA. 30-day money-back guarantee. Try it risk-free. And for Christmas, don't miss out on a special offer. Buy 2 packs and get 1 2-pack for just $1. Don't wait. Go to Masculine Man Essentials, masculinemanessentials.com to order and find us now on Amazon. Use promo code BENNY15 at checkout for your order. Smell incredible, feel unstoppable, and support an American-made brand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to get to today. It's we're rocking and rolling. Again, I don't know if we have the preview screen. President Trump was set to make a live announcement today about a bank called SoftBank investing $100 billion in America, creating 10,000 new jobs. Expect a lot of these. President Trump, this is President Trump live now. We certainly aren't going to let that affect our first guest on the program, who's going to be joining us, Tom Homan, very, very soon. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to cue this up. We want to go to the president when he's live. Or what we're going to do is we're going to clip out what the news that was made. The president is not live just yet. SoftBank, ladies and gentlemen, investing $100 billion in America. This after Donald Trump said, if you invest money here, if you invest billions in this country, you are going to get great regulatory preference, and you're going to be able to get what you want out of the most rip-roaring economy, a literal physical rocket ship that is carrying the rest of the world right now, a Elon Musk-style starship, and the rest of the globe literally hanging on for dear life to the American economy. If you are cut out of that economy, expect your country to descend into chaos and madness, and expect our borders to be closed. You can no longer send all of your mad people, psychopaths, dangerous, violent people to this country because of our first guest, the great Tom Homan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we saw some violence this weekend, legal violence, at the UFC. We teased this out. Little did we know that Dana White would invite us up ringside. It was very exciting. It's like a freaking honor. I just wanted to shout out Dana White. And, you never know these things. As I have said many times to you, I am not a massive sports fan. I devote myself wholly and completely to this program, to this show, and to what we're doing here, saving Western civilization. However, since we did have quite a victory, I think it's time to put my feet up a little bit and engage in culture and some of the cultural elements that helped President Trump win. You're going to see me doing a lot more podcasts, a lot more conversations with other creators. We had as a guest Tim Pool. Do we have that photo? We had as a guest Tim Pool, and here's this fighter like banging on the ring, and here we are sitting right there. Tim was joining us also at ringside. It's great because we are fighting together, and you need strong allies in order to fight and to defeat and to win this war. Know this, that the left has now understood that the battlefield is completely changed, and they are ready to try and defeat us on this battlefield. They're going to come hard for our channels, for YouTube, to try to prop up their own creators, to try to prop it up. Can you zoom in? No. Just show ringside with Dana, please. They're going to try really hard to destroy what we're building here, to destroy this ecosystem. It's time for us to unite. It's time for us to create strong allies and to, do the thing that actually wins, which is this. Dana, just a quick note on Dana White. We had an hour-long conversation with Dana ringside. I didn't ask for that, of course. Dana White is the king in the castle there at UFC. I'm just here to be I'm here to humbly be a guest, and it was freaking awesome. Dana White, more than I think any other man, led to the election of President Trump, a successful election of President Trump, from a cultural perspective. Now, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live right now is President Trump. I want to jump in here. Trump just took the podium. Let's take his comments live. Here we go.
Masa runs one of the largest companies in Japan and among the most successful investment and technology companies anywhere in the world, one of the most successful investors in the world. And we've just concluded a very productive meeting. And today I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum. And he's doing this because he feels very optimistic about our country since the election. And many other people are also coming in with tremendous amounts of money. You probably noticed that the poll was just taken. It's business is literally in 39 years, there's been nothing like it. It's been the biggest increase. Small business owners gave it a 41% jump. It's the biggest jump that we've had in 39 years. And nobody's ever seen anything like it. And it's just, they're very optimistic. This historic investment is a monumental demonstration of confidence in America's future, and it will help ensure that artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and other industries of tomorrow are built, created, and grown right here in the USA. One of the beautiful things about Masa is he's very much involved with emerging technology, probably knows it maybe better than almost anybody. So it's a great honor. And some of you remember after the 2016 election, also SoftBank committed to invest $50 billion in our country, and they did. And I'm very pleased to say that they kept that promise in every way, shape, and form. And now they're looking to do 100. And I've looked at their books. They do have the possibility of doing more. I'm going to ask them to do a little bit more. But first, I'm going to ask them to speak and just to say a few words. Masa, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited.
The microphone.
I would really like to celebrate the great victory of President Trump. And my confidence level to the economy of the United States has tremendously increased with his victory. So because of that, I'm now excited to commit this $100 billion and 100,000 jobs into the United States. This is double of last time, as President Trump said. Because I say, oh, President Trump is a double down president. I'm going to have to double down. $100 billion and 100,000 jobs. This is, my confidence level, because that has doubled down. So I am truly excited to make this happen. And of course, business is important. Technology is important. But one more thing I'm really hoping is that this President Trump would make the world, bring the world into peace again. That's my additional hope. And I think he will actually make it happen. So anyway, I'm excited to go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, double down is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
I'm going to ask him right now, would you make it $200 million instead of he can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but he's now asking to do more. I think with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen. All right,
200. He'll make it.
Look at it! Look at it!
He is a great negotiator.
This is unreal. This is unreal.
An unbelievable job, and the people of Japan and all over the world are very proud of him. A tremendous respect for him. So when he does what he just did, and I would be surprised if it didn't go to 2. When you say you'll try, I know you'll do it.
I will really try. And I need your support, though.
You'll have my support.
All right.
You'll have our country's support.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you, my support.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank
Do
you.
you want to
Great
say hello
event.
to the people of Japan who are all watching?
Well, I'm sure our people in Japan are proud to make the partnership of U.S. and Japan be stronger. And I'm very excited to make this happen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us. That's, just amazing. We have the great Tom Homan, who's been so incredibly gracious and holding off for those couple minutes to watch President Trump just seal another $100 billion. It already had $100 billion. You just watched Donald Trump do a negotiation live. What a time! What a timeline we live in now. What an incredible time! I can't believe it. You just watched Trump squeeze a guy who he had to lower the microphone for, and absolute alpha Chad graciousness move, right? He had to lower the microphone for Masa, the guy in charge of SoftBank in Japan. It's a massive bank, and he just did the firm Trump handshake for $100 billion more for the country. And you saw him say, with your leadership, we're going to do it. So you just watched live a Donald Trump negotiation to double the price. And that's $200 billion. Elon Musk is worth $300 billion. So that's a lot of money. Yes, like Elon Musk, the richest man in world history. That's a lot of money. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to rock here with Tom Homan. Are we good to go? Producers? Yes, great. Who's been incredibly gracious and generous with his time. And we're very, very appreciative and thankful. The new border czar, one of the absolute and total skullcrackers when it comes to enforcing our laws and rules in this country and making us a nation of law and order again. Please welcome to the program live, the great Tom Homan. Thank you so much for being on the program, Tom. We really appreciate it, and just had to have a little breaking news there. It must be exciting for you to watch Trump do those kind of deals and work like that behind the scenes. Sometimes you don't get to see it in public. That was kind of remarkable.
I see a lot. I'm with President Trump an awful lot, and look, President Trump's a badass president. I mean, there's no one who can compare to him, and I've said many times, not afraid to say it. He's the greatest president in my lifetime, and he's proven it. When it comes to border security, unprecedented success. The economy, unprecedented success. So look, this was typical Trump. I've been with him many times. He'll broker a deal within 30 seconds and usually come out on top.
Have you watched him do this with Northern Triangle state leaders? He's been pushing pretty hard on tariffs for Mexico, and it was amazing. Just like overnight, you hear the Mexican president say, wait a second, no more migrant caravans. It seems to work.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember when we did a Operation Matador in New York City, we arrested just short of 500 gang members, most of them MS-13. On the way back to Air Force One, President Trump said, all right, we got all these gang members. How quick can you get them out? And I said, it's going to take a while because El Salvador pushes back on taking people back, especially criminals. This has been going on for at least 2 decades. President Trump said, well, let me address that. In 48 hours, I got a phone call. How many planes can you fill full of MS-13 members? Fill them and get them south because they're going to take them. So he had a conversation with El Salvador. Said, you're going to take these people. I'll take every dollar of international aid away from you. He got the 3 Central American countries, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, to agree to safe third country. He got Mexico to agree to remain in Mexico and put 10,000 military troops on the northern and southern border. All these countries said no when he first asked them, but he quickly got them to yes within days. So look, he's putting America first. He's not taking no for an answer.
And I know that you are so unbelievably close with the president, and obviously you're one of the first appointments that he made, and to your great honor and credit to your work here as Borders Czar in the first administration, and then moving through quickly, hopefully, into 2025. What policy would you like to see enforced with Mexico and with our southern border, what would a dream southern border look like for Tom Homan?
Remain in Mexico was a game changer. Remain in Mexico, that moved illegal immigration to a 45-year low. It moved immigration down 90%. And that was tremendous. And we need to get that back in place. I'm sure President Trump's already having discussions with the president of Mexico. If not, I won't be deeply involved with those discussions with officials in Mexico. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Also, end catch and release. We got to end catch and release, because if people know they're going to cross the border, which is a crime, get released in the United States, many not to show up in immigration court ever, they're going to keep coming. And the statute clearly says, the federal law says, when you enter the country illegally without proper documentation, you shall be detained. That's what the word is, shall. Not maybe, not think about it, shall. So we're going to end catch and release day one. We'll get the remaining Metro program back in. We're going to continue building the wall, because the wall works. And we'll put the third safe country agreements back into place. We're going to brush off the plan we did back in the first Trump administration, add a few more things, and we'll secure the border at a record level, even better than we did in the first administration. We're going to finish the job this time.
I don't think that world leaders will be your problem. I really don't. I think that world leaders will fall into place like dominoes. I think that actually your main problem, Mr. Homan, will be American political leaders. J.B. Pritzker of Illinois made some news here with a headline. He says, if you come for my people, you're going to have to get through me. I was wondering if you could, this is a direct message to you, Mr. Homan. Could you respond to this?
Game on. Game on. First of all, President Trump's been pretty clear, and I've been pretty clear, that we're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats right out of the gate. I can't believe you got any governor, any mayor saying they don't want public safety threats and national security threats out of their community. That's their number one responsibility, is protecting the community. But they obviously hate Trump more than they love their community. But look, don't help me. That's fine with that. Get out of the way. Get the hell out of the way, because we're going to do it. If that means I got to send twice as many resources to your city, that's what I'll do. Because here's what I need to understand. If they let me into the jail, right? The sanctuary city means they won't let us into the jail. Law enforcement can't work with us. Let me into the jail where you already arrested the bad guy and locked him up in a jail cell. That's the guy I want to talk to. But because you won't let me in that jail, because you won't let law enforcement give me that person, what's going to happen? We're going to go to the community and find him after you release him, and we will find him. And when we find him, we're going to find him with others. Others that probably aren't a priority arrest, but guess what? They are now, because you're standing in front of us. So your actions are going to result in more arrests than you can imagine. More arrests of non-priority aliens, because you forced me in that position. I'm good with that. I'm not sure they're going to be good with it. Well, understand your actions are refusing to let law enforcement work on law enforcement is going to result in more arrests. I'm good with that.
There was a pretty famous line that you said about the Denver mayor, who also made a similar claim, saying, I'm willing to go to jail. And you said, well, I'm happy to put you there for interfering with law enforcement. Seems like there might be some blue on blue potential conflicts here. He says, I'm going to use the Denver police to stop Tom Homan. How are you going to deal with that, Tom?
I don't think the Denver police will do it. I think the Denver police are going to step aside and let us do our job. Because look, I've been clear. I'm not fooling around. There are federal statutes that clearly say if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from ICE officials, from immigration officers, that's a felony. Impeding federal law enforcement officers' performance of those duties is a felony. So try me. I mean, Mayor of Chicago said that Governor Pritzker said the other day, I don't think Homan has the authority. He's a border czar. What is that? Well, I'm a senior advisor to the president of the United States. So I certainly think I have the authority to do what I need to do. And look, I'm not going to be prosecuting the case. The U.S. attorney will prosecute the case. And who's going to be attorney general? Well, let's think a minute. Pam Bondi. You don't think she'll prosecute these cases? She absolutely will. Who's going to run the FBI? Kash Patel. You don't think he's going to be involved with the investigation? So look, this is not a threat. Or maybe it is. Bottom line is there's statutes on the books that we will enforce. There is no reason you should not want public safety threats removed from your communities. So, we're going to go do it. And I hope they don't cross that line. I don't want blue on blue. I don't want blue on red. But let us do our job. Because we're going, and I'd like to remind them, ICE isn't making this up. ICE is enforcing the laws enacted and created by Congress, signed by the president. We're not making this up. So Governor Pritzker, you don't like what we're doing? Go to Congress and change the law. Until then, we're going to enforce the law without apology. President Trump has a mandate for the American people. We're going to have the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not running a popularity contest. I'm going to do the job, and you can't stop me.
As you're speaking here, Mr. Homan, everything I want, virtually every single quote I want to put on a T-shirt, right? Like I'm going to do the job and you can't stop me. It's freaking great. It's like a slogan from like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s. Is there criminal liability for these mayors and governors? It does seem like they would be interfering with federal authorities. It does seem like that's the true insurrection. I mean, am I not wrong Am I not wrong that definitionally insurrecting would be using law enforcement to fight the federal government from lawfully enforcing the rules of this country? Wouldn't that be considered an insurrection?
I don't know, but it's a felony. A felony we will prosecute. And look, there's a lot of hate out there right now. I mean, I got death threats against me and my family, and because I'm going to do the job that Congress has required us to do. They enacted the laws for us to enforce. They budget us to do this job. We're going to do it. But people need to understand, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be manipulated. I'm not going away. I'm not going to be silenced. We're going to do this job. And again, don't cross the line. I would ask the mayor of Chicago and Governor Pritzker, simply read the statute. Read 18 U.S.C. 111. Read 1324 III. Read them. I mean, I'm not an attorney. But I know how to read. I think they know how to read too. Just read the statute and you decide if you're going to cross that line or instruct anybody else to cross that line, because we're going to get this job done. We're the biggest national security threat this nation's ever had. The southern border with 2.2 million gotaways, but even some of the ones they arrested and released that weren't properly vetted, that came back hot after they released them, that they were on the list, the terrorist watch list. Biggest national security vulnerability in my lifetime. Even the FBI director, who I have zero respect in, even he agrees with me. Biggest national security vulnerability in the history of this nation. More red flags never seen before. And you, as an elected governor, elected mayor, want to stop me from removing public safety threats and national security threats from your communities? It's insulting at every level. Look, the New York City Mayor Eric Adams brought me to the table, and he sees his job as mayor. Plus, that when I sat down with him, I quickly saw a career cop come out on him, because he's a career cop. He understands public safety threats should not be walking our neighborhoods. So he's stepping up. I'm hoping other mayors and governors step up. Hoping it create a domino effect that people start reading the statute, start talking to. Talk to your constituents, for God's sake. The mayor of Chicago should talk to his constituents. He has the lowest rating in the history of any mayor in the history of the United States ever. I think he's got like a 21% approval rating now. So look, read the statute, be advised, we're coming. You're not going to stop us.
We have actually a photo here of you with the mayor of New York, Eric Adams. He said he's going to shut down migrant hotels. He says he's going to work with your office. He says that they're going to increase law enforcement. What a massive win. You're not even in office yet, sir. And what an incredible win for the American people. It's not red or blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. These are wins for public safety. New York has fallen into many parts of New York. I was shocked when I was there recently. Sunken into third world conditions.
Oh, look, it's incredible that a retired career law enforcement officer and mayor of the biggest city in the nation wants my law enforcement officers to go into Rikers Island, where the bad guys at. Wow. So when they release them, we get them. It's amazing that he wants law enforcement working law enforcement. It's just incredible. I mean, every mayor should be doing this. You're exactly right.
I have one more question that has to do with the general New York region and a lot of mysterious sightings of drones in the sky. It's obviously a national security threat. You are the most concerned about national security of any public official I've ever met. I want to get your take on this. Many people are saying that these are government drones, that they're looking potentially for some type of either radioactive material or dangerous or hazardous material, and that this may be something that could really cause some real damage or threat to the American public. Do you have any take on these drones or lights that we're seeing about New Jersey, and any information for our viewers about what's happening?
Look, I obviously think they're a national security threat, especially because we don't know what they are. And this proves that this administration is incompetent. The Secretary of Homeland Security, what has he done about it? What has the White House done about this? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, we know for a fact that we got enemies all over this world wanting to destroy this nation. We got over 46,000 Chinese males, military age across the border. Nearly 20,000 Russians. Iran is looking to start a war with us. This is a huge national security vulnerability. They shouldn't be flying around. They're doing the same thing they did with spy balloon. This administration is incompetent. So I can't wait till President Trump gets in office. I guarantee you when President Trump gets in office, they're not going to be flying around. They're going to be blown out of the sky. So God help us. We got to hold out to January 20th. Then I think America is going to see the greatest president in the history of this nation come back for a second term, make his country safe again, and make our cities safe again. And President Trump, you saw President Trump on stage there. It's one thing me and President Trump have in common. Neither one of us are waiting for January 20th. I've already been to Texas working with Governor Abbott. I've been on the border 3 times since they announced me 3 weeks ago. I've been on the border 3 times more than the old border czar was. I've met with hundreds of sheriffs across the nation, National Sheriff's Association, about our plans going forward. I went to New York City. I'm taking off today to Florida to meet with some other mayors. So look, bottom line is, game on. We're not waiting till January 20th. The game's on right now. We're going to push it. We're going to push it and get this work done. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make American communities safe again. We're going to make the border secure, the securest border you've ever seen. And when we do that, when we do this, secure the border and have this deportation operations, fentanyl deaths will decrease. Migrant crime in the United States would decrease. Sex trafficking of women and children across that border would decrease. And the cartels are going to make a hell of a lot more money. And President Trump's going to designate them a terrorist organization and wipe them off the face of the earth. So game on.
Game on. In closing, any parting words for the outgoing border czar? Who was that? Oh yes, Kamala Harris. Any words, sir, since you are taking her job?
I'd like to thank her because I can't do anything but succeed because I'm following massive failure. I can't lose.
We say Godspeed, Mr. Borderzar. We say Godspeed. You're one of the real ones. Everyone follow Tom Homan. He's got 500,000 followers on X, but it's important to make sure that he has as much power to tell the true story about what's happening in this country so he can secure this nation. He's an absolute G. Everyone said that the rumors are that he comes from Scottish royalty, that he comes from like the old raiding parties of the Norse. And that he's either a time traveler or a direct descendant of that, and like a Braveheart level, like actual a brawler, and we think that's true. Probably, we think that's true.
One thing I want to add for you. I appreciate you can follow me at Real Tom Homan. There is somebody. It's Tom Homan Borderzar. It's some sort of, what do you call those fake accounts, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, the real Tom Homan is at Real Tom Homan. I don't know who the Tom Homan Borderzar guy is, but if you want to follow me, make sure you follow the right guy.
The account's up on screen. That's the authentic account. It's verified, and it'll soon have that little government badge right next to it, so you'll know exactly where it is. Please follow the absolute legend, Tom Homan, and support his work. This is how we win. Godspeed, sir.
Thanks for having me.
The great Tom Homan, man. So awesome. It's very interesting because you have to talk about serious subjects, and we have Christmas maxed. We have Christmas maxed our studio. Now, I wasn't going to put him on the spot and say, are you a direct descendant of Braveheart? I wasn't going to put him on the spot and say that. That'll be for interview number 2. Okay? Interview number 2, we go there. All right? Are you a direct descendant of Braveheart? But, yes, that was perfect levels of toxic masculinity, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have our poll up. What are New Jersey drones exactly? Foreign government, U.S. military, aliens, or just airplanes? Ladies and gentlemen, most people are saying U.S. military. Uh-oh. Narrative collapsing, and we're going to prove more that the narrative has collapsed on this program. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of collapsing, I want to make sure that over the past couple of years where our economic health in this country has collapsed, that you are set and ready to go this holiday season. Make sure that you are out from some of the crippling debt that may have accrued over the Biden regime. It has been very, very bad for absolutely everybody. Go to American Financing today. If you're a homeowner, American Financing can help you unlock the equity in your home and start saving. Their customers are saving $800 a month on average, and just imagine how much that can mean for you and your family if you act now. You can delay your mortgage payments or get some extra cash for the holidays. It would be certainly nice to do that. You can start your year without debt. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a call now. 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219, AmericanFinancing.net/Benny, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping right in to our top story here, which is the drones. What the hell are they? We talked with Tom Homan about them. He says that they should be shot out of the sky. President Trump said that they should be shot out of the sky. I'm not sure if we have that. President Trump says, shoot them down. What the hell is going on here? Well, interestingly enough, we have a whistleblower who's come forward. I guess like the right way to say it would be not a whistleblower as much as a subject matter expert who's explaining what's actually happening here. And it's been quite horrifying because Alex Jones and Joe Rogan have both come forward and said, this scares us. When Joe Rogan and Alex Jones both collide and say, we're worried about the consequences here, it gets our attention. Ladies and gentlemen, this got our attention this weekend. So there's new footage of the drones. Here we go. 1,000 drone sightings reported in New Jersey in less than 1 month. You can see there the drone or aircraft flying. Why would they be flying at night? Why do they have their lights on? If you want to be mysterious, or if you want to be stealth, you don't turn the lights on. They want people to know that they're there, or they want other aircraft to know that they're there. Why is it when these drones crash, which one of them reportedly crashed, the FBI went to the scene, and guess what? As soon as the FBI was there, nothing was to be found. The scene was wiped clean. What does that mean? Seems like a pickup operation to me, right? Why are all the known liars in our administration saying, yeah, these drones exist, but don't worry about them? Look the other way. Why? Why are people like Mayorkas, the FBI, the CIA is now having CIA agents scurry out onto Fox News to say that, yes, these drones are there doing surveillance and reconnaissance? Well, CIA agents don't get allowed access to do that or permission to do that without getting that message from the top, right? So what the hell is going on here precisely? Ladies and gentlemen, we have interesting footage. This was ABC 7 News. No idea what this is. What exactly is happening here in the sky?
You know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But
what the hell was that? Some people are saying it's water droplet or something. It's like you're filming a star or something. I mean, that's what their cameras are capturing. Here's what the sightings look like. Look at this. Look at the number of sightings here in New Jersey. It's crazy. We've been covering this for weeks because obviously someone's lying to us. And we now think we know what's happening here based on all available evidence. Let's start from the top. There's no way that the federal government is going to allow thousands and thousands of foreign, even this federal government is going to allow thousands and thousands of foreign aircraft to fly over our largest American cities, military bases, and the home of President Trump. They're just not going to allow it. If they wanted to keep their jobs, I mean, a lot of these people are going to continue on. Most of these people aren't Joe Biden. A lot of these people are going to try and continue on in their government service. Your ass is going to be fired on day one and probably prosecuted if you're allowing a foreign nation to invade our country. There's no way these are foreign craft. I don't think they're UFOs. Just going to out and out say it. No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I'm not saying that UFOs don't exist or that they shouldn't be studied or that that's not another whole different government lie. But no, these seem like fixed wing aircrafts that seem to be manufactured and utilized and being flown at night for a specific purpose. Now, who would allow these drones to fly at night? Well, the U.S. federal government, the FAA, the military, could give permission for this to happen. It happens over my house all the time. I live next to a military base. It's called MacDill Air Force Base. This is where CENTCOM is located. And there are C-130s, there's F-15s, F-16s, F-35s, F-everything flying over my house day and night. You can hear them. You can hear them go supersonic. Boom! It's a regular happening in Tampa. You're jogging by the bay and you see a fleet of like C-130s landing. The military the military owns effectively all the airspace in this country. And there are big times when you can't fly into Tampa. Sometimes you're trying to fly into Tampa and you have to take this huge route around the city because the military said, shut it down. No crafts or planes are allowed to fly. We're doing some type of special maneuver or some type of special training. That is what's happening here. Okay? Of that we are certain. This is the whistleblower, ladies and gentlemen, that explained why it's happening and why it's happening at night and what these drones are capable of. Let's get there. This man is the CEO of Saxon Aerospace. His name is John Ferguson. He's a real person. We're not getting punked here. He manufactures drones for the American military. And he explains here precisely what he thinks is happening, and the explanation is horrifying. Too long didn't read. He says that they're sniffer drones, and they're looking for either gas leaks that drones can do at night with the technology that they have to detect fumes or gas, or radiation leaks. What would be a radiation leak? This dude says that they may be planning either a false flag or a real flag, not sure, because there's so many terrorists in the damn country at this point. They may be planning some type of nuclear event in New York City, which of course would be the target. And they're looking for the gamma radiation from what might be a smuggled warhead from the Cold War. That's what this man says. Let's listen to him say it, and then we're gonna analyze it. Let's go.
But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military-grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. Back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay? We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that thing was headed towards the United States. If they are our drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So, my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever.
So we've shortened what was a 10-minute clip down to that. The man goes through and explains the technology required to get these drones, and he does he shows the drones that he makes, right? He's from Wichita, Kansas, which is like the epicenter of aerospace manufacturing in the country. It's where Boeing does a lot of their work. The man knows what he's talking about. He says, listen, when you fly these things at night, it makes it much easier to detect the radioactivity. And lo and behold, there have been some pretty monster spikes in radioactivity in this general area. Now, here's something else that we know, because we like to study history as best as we possibly can. It is historic fact that during the fall of the Soviet Union, that it was all of these weapons were up for sale to the highest bidder. It was absolute and total chaos. You could buy tanks, you could buy submarines. Dudes bought a nuclear submarine from the Soviets. They sold it. Like a general sold a nuclear-powered submarine to people in the cartel. It's freaking real. It was Wild West when the Soviet Union fell. Our leaders, of course, were incompetent. Our leaders allowed for either the sale or the non-lockdown of nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Ukraine was a nuclear power. We forced it to not be a nuclear power in the early 90s. And then what happened? Did they sell the nuclear material? Well, I have never heard an authoritative account that, yes, all of that nuclear material is accounted for. So where to go? Exactly. Like, where is it? Could it be smuggled into the country? And then cui bono, who benefits? Well, if they are able to pin a dirty bomb on, let's say, I don't know, just throwing a dartboard at the world, Russia, since it would be Russian uranium, since this stuff comes from the Cold War, we're just taking that man at his words, okay? That man says that he's literally seen the schematics of the dirty bomb. He knows a guy who put physical hands, something you probably shouldn't do, but put physical hands on the radioactive material. Yikes. So that guy's saying that they're going to plan a false flag to get Trump into war, and that these drones are trying to stop a nuclear weapon from being detonated in America. My God. What do you think? Sure does make a lot more sense to me. Sure does lock in for me. I heard that explanation. I was like, that makes perfect sense. Because all the known liars are out here explaining that to you as long as your ears are open and you can hear it. For everyone from Mayorkas to the FBI to the CIA is out saying these are drones doing surveillance. Okay, what are they surveilling in New Jersey? Marinara sauce? What are they surveilling in New Jersey? New episodes of Sopranos? What are they surveilling exactly? Why New Jersey? New Jersey is, of course, the feeder state into New York. It's where most of the bridges are located. And you could literally do you could do the plot of Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. Put a nuke on a truck and drive it around Manhattan. Drive around Gotham. It's literally the plot of the movie. Is that predictive programming? I don't know, man. I don't know. But that is the best explanation we've gotten yet for what may be happening in this country. Radiation levels are spiking in this area. What the hell is going on? Why do they keep lying to us? Why? They're going to try and stop mass panic. It's Christmas time. Trump's inauguration is next, January 20. Christmas, you're going to have parades. You're going to have a lot of people distracted. The inauguration, you're going to have so many people there in Washington, D.C. You're going to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people show up for the inauguration. There's 77 million Trump voters. There's 100 million Trump supporters. How many people are going to the inauguration? Like tons of them. So are they planning a false flag, some type of terrorist attack that draws Trump into war? Cui bono, who benefits? Well, it would be great. These people are psychotic. I mean, I know these people. I know them. We do the interviews on this program. They're live for you to see. These people are demonically and psychotically bloodthirsty obsessed with war with Russia. They need regime change in Russia. They must topple the regime there. They want to get Russia's natural resources. They want to carve up Russia into 7 different states. Mike Benz has been on the program. He said he's seen the plans. He's literally seen the plans. These sociopaths to start a war with the number one nuclear power in the world. You know that Russia has a lot more nukes than we do. It is suicidal, actually, to do this. But they could maybe pin it. I mean, I don't know. That logic. I have nothing to back that up right now. I'm just saying that if you could follow the logic through, you could see how they would be trying to set something up. And then they drag Trump into war. They're like, look, you drag Trump into war. I find it also very interesting. Hey, Alex, can you grab the Tucker tweet of him in Moscow? I find it very interesting that Tucker Carlson, who always has like a sixth sense about these things, Tucker Carlson like is in Moscow saying, I'm here to prevent nuclear war. I'm worried that nuclear war is about to happen. And Tucker just did this like a week ago. He goes to Moscow. He talks with Lavrov, the foreign minister, the longest serving, head of state effectively for the, for the entire globe. Tucker Carlson does an interview with him, and he predicates it on we are racing towards nuclear war with Russia. Okay? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? I'm just laying out the evidence that is before us. What does Tucker know? Why did Tucker rush back to Moscow to try and open up channels? Part of this was very, very scary to me. The scariest part to me is that America's shut down all communication with Russia. So the State Department doesn't talk to Russia at all. Close the embassy, take everyone away, so there's no communication back and forth. You create a literal Cold War, you create the environment for something horrible to happen. I don't know. Skepticism can never be wrong. We are alive, we pay attention, and we're breathing. Pattern recognition. Ding, 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 ding. So that's what we're saying. Alex Jones and Joe Rogan both shared that clip, and both of them said, yo, this is terrifying to us. Alex Jones and Joe Rogan are both scared of this, then we got problems. State Senator from New Jersey saying there is a massive federal cover-up that's going on. And they are scaring the general public in New Jersey. Yeah, they are. Here we go.
Based on what I've seen so far, looking out my window, it doesn't appear to be a threat to our country. Okay. Why? Well, because I looked out the window. That's all I'm getting from the federal government. And every single person, Democrat or Republican, has been calling for the same thing. That's why I have some concern that there is something very secret going on, because how did the people with the technology have no idea, except it's not, if they're saying it's not a threat, it must be something going on that's real top secret.
Senator, have you had this kind of discretion from the government before when you've asked them questions straight out?
I've never seen anything go on this long. And why would the government allow the public to be so frustrated?
Right.
Why would the government allow a United States senator to be so frustrated? We heard this from both sides of the aisle. Now that brings me to the point that whatever these drones are doing, the government really doesn't want us to know. What that must mean is they're more concerned with us getting knowledge and being afraid of that information than having no knowledge and having all these questions. That's why I'm worried about it. It must be something going on that they can't tell us, because they are so fearful of what the public's going to do when they hear what the drones are doing. There's no way the Department of Defense does not know what's going on.
I agree with everything that man just said. Doesn't it follow the logic that there is some type of, that there's something horrible that they are looking for to try and get it and to try and not cause mass panic? Doesn't that follow logic that that's what's going on here? I got producers in the chat being like, well, I got producers telling me half the chat's not buying it. They think that maybe this is going to be a false flag. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know who's running this up. I don't know. Is someone just covering their ass? Look at this. Here's the poll right now. This has almost 10,000 votes. Poll's been up. This is your poll. Please go vote. This is your poll. 80% say it's the U.S. military flying these drones. And so then what are they looking for? Well, they did why would they let every splinter cell and terror cell from around the globe into our country? What were those people bringing into our country? Do we have the proper weaponized assessment at our docks to figure all these containers that come flowing into the country? Do we have detectors that can determine that there's nothing radioactive in any of those containers? They say we do. Yeah, have you ever been through TSA? Do you think that do you trust those people? 80% say that it's the U.S. military, so it's not working. Okay, the ops aren't working. And now it's time to come clean with what exactly you're doing. Now, I understand the need to not like create mass panic. I do get that. Like, okay. But what the whistleblower said, if we could just put up the B-roll of the dude, what the whistleblower said, who's a subject matter expert on drones, he says, yo, here's what happened. They were warned and they did nothing. Gross. We've said this so many times about the Trump assassination, but it bears repeating. Gross negligence and incompetence is the same as malevolence. It's indistinguishable. So if you have enough dumb people together, so Mayorkas, but getting warned that there's a dirty bomb or a nuclear weapon that could be detonated here in the country and ignoring it is the same as him wanting it to happen. I mean, it's like the same, like them not guarding Trump. The incompetence is indistinguishable from the malevolence. They wanted Trump to eat a bullet. How do you know that? I don't need to read their hearts and minds and souls. I don't even need a mind reader, okay? Only God can read a man's heart. But I can tell you their actions betray them. They wanted Trump to get shot. They created the environment for Trump to eat a bullet. That's what they did. And he did. Trump did get shot in the head. Confluence of miracles saved Trump's life. I believe it, and I will believe it till my dying day. But this guy is saying that the incompetence of this current administration, they've been warned again and again and again that there was going to be some type of horrible attack, and that the nature of the attack, using some type of like nuclear weapon from the Cold War era, is what he supposes, and that our government has done nothing about it. Now our government is scrambling, terrified and scared, because maybe Donald Trump will prove that this is what's happening. Maybe Donald Trump will out them or explain their incompetence to people. Maybe Trump will catch them, hopefully, prayerfully. Maybe Trump will catch the dirty bomb, right? And it'll be a big thing, and we'll be able to explain like this is law and order now back in our shores. Or God help us, something bad will, they have something bad planned to try and draw us into war, to send our boys to the middle of a desert to go die by the thousands again. These are the times that try men's souls, and you've got to pray, man. You've got to pray. The power of God was demonstrated this election cycle. You must pray. The man who should be in prison, I mean, I'm saying this, I would put this man in prison more. If you were to say, Benny, you have a chance to prosecute one person in the administration, who would it be? Alejandro Mayorkas? Not even close. Not even close. But what about Joe Biden? Not even close. Alejandro Mayorkas is the literal criminal that must be prosecuted here. Alejandro Mayorkas, he was the guy in charge of protecting Trump. Trump eats a bullet. He was the guy in charge of the southern border, the horrors that have been wrought on this nation because of Alejandro Mayorkas. And now Mayorkas is in charge of defending our skies. And here's what he has to say. No, we can't shoot the drones down. No,
President-elect Trump has put out a post on this. I want to put it up on the screen right now. He says, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know and now, otherwise shoot them down. Your response?
Well, we are aware of the drone sightings. As I've said, I think there are more than 8,000 drones flown every day in the United States. With respect to the ability to incapacitate those drones, we are limited in our authorities. We have certain agencies within the Department of Homeland Security that can do that, and outside our department. But we need those authorities expanded as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we love it on this program when we get the chance to do this. Breaking news. Here we go. President Trump was leaving his press conference, and we didn't let it run out because Tom Homan was waiting. He was done with his press conference, and a reporter says, yo, what are you going to do about these drones? And Donald Trump just made massive news here. Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, explained the government knows what's happening. They refuse to tell people. They need to be honest with people. President Trump is from New York. Nobody loves that city, I think, more than President Trump. President Trump just straight up said the military is lying to us. President Trump does receive a classified briefing every single day. President Trump's classified briefing must cover this. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the clip of President Trump responding to the drones, live on camera for the first time.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big distance.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth.
We've brought the mayor of Bedminster. We brought the mayor that's next to Bedminster on the show. She was on the show just like 2 days ago. She's live on the stream saying they're flying over Trump's house. They're flying these drones over Trump's home. Who could possibly have the authority to do that? I'm sorry, but like, even in this environment, who could possibly have the authority to do that? If you're a Secret Service director and you're wishing to like keep your ass out of prison, there's no way you let the drone just fly over Trump's house. Trump's national security advisor was asked about this. His name is Michael Waltz. He's a man who has been on this program again and again and again. He's our dear friend, our ally. We've texted about this, and he doesn't have an answer. The best that he did was this hit this weekend, talking about the GPS coordinates, how our government knows exactly where these drones are from. They're lying to us. Here we go.
At this point, given the intelligence you've seen, is there any reason for the public to be worried?
Well, look, when you have sensitive sites like Picatinny Arsenal, you have, of course, President Trump's residence at Bedminster, and you have other no-fly areas. Those need to be enforced. We need to know who's behind it. But right now, I think law enforcement seems to be, the Department of Homeland Security and the Defense Department are kind of all doing this and pointing at each other. So when we come in, you know, how do we enforce these low-level, long loitering, could be dangerous drones? And one thing for people to appreciate, you know, they're evolving so rapidly. It's not necessarily somebody that's just on the other end flying it. They could be following pre-positioned GPS coordinates. They could be coming from offshore. And we need to take a hard look at our homeland defenses. President Trump has talked about an Iron Dome for America. That needs to include drones as well, not just adversarial actions like hypersonic missiles. We need to have an all-of-the-above protection of U.S. airspace.
I mean, I totally agree. But he doesn't get into where are they. He says they may be coming from offshore. Have you ever thought that maybe these drones are being launched by our own government from offshore? Maybe they're not landing in New Jersey. We've shown you videos, time lapses of what looks like a cluster location where they're going into and out of. News Nation did a report where they interviewed eyewitnesses. And they say that they've captured footage of 50 drones flying off into the ocean to a nexus. It might be an aircraft carrier or something that exists sort of in the broad expanse of the ocean where the drones are being launched from. Now, this is not the first time we've heard this theory. Jeff Andrews, a member of Congress and on the Intel Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, said, no, there's a mothership where the drones are being launched to and from. Could that mothership be ours? He said, no, they're Iranian. I think there's no way. No way, right? Incompetent, not suicidal, all right? But could it be our operations, like launching them? Here's the report. I thought it was fascinating.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here.
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow.
I've never seen anything like it before. It's a fixed-wing aircraft. It's clear as day. You can see what's going on. And they're saying that they have nexus off the shore of New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump saying the government is lying to us, the military is lying to us. Why? Well, why not ask somebody who is a true expert, somebody who is a New Jersey native, who served that nation, who served that state as a police lieutenant, retired, who also served our country as a U.S. naval officer, Office of Naval Intelligence, Lieutenant Stephen Rogers, joins the program live now. Well, Lieutenant, thank you so much for being on the program. There's so many questions that we have, and there's so much information that's coming in a quick clip, including the president, who just broke news by commenting on this. I want to start by just stepping back, setting the table, and saying, you are the subject matter expert here. Given the news environment, what you've seen, and maybe what you know, what's happening exactly?
Well, Benny, I want to bring some, some balance to this entire conversation and help you out with this.
Please.
To begin with, the United States military has the most sophisticated intelligence gathering equipment on the face of the earth, including outer space. So yes, I'm convinced that our government knows the who, what, when, where, and why of the drones. The question that needs to be answered is, why not are they sharing this with us? Now, there's a few things we have to keep in mind. Because of the government's lack of transparency, just about every theory, every politician, everyone I've heard speak about this, other than President Trump, and I'll talk about that in a minute, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're making outlandish statements. And you just mentioned one before, that a politician said there was an Iranian mothership off the coast of New Jersey. And I'm glad you addressed that the way you did. Impossible, absolutely impossible without the United States Navy going out there and sinking that ship. But so we have all of these people with all of these different conclusions, and look, they're frustrated. They're they don't understand what's going on. And that's the result of the government, of the White House, that's not being transparent with the people. So what do I believe is going on? Based on everything I've seen and the people I've talked with, and I'm far from an expert, believe me, but I know enough of military intelligence and how our intelligence community works to draw some logical conclusions. And so I believe that the United States government is involved in testing these aerial platforms, which are the drones. For what reason? I can't tell you why. But I don't believe for 1 minute that they're up there to harm us, they're up there to hurt us. I don't believe for 1 minute that they're going to be used as offensive weapons, involved in some false flags and all of this nonsense that people are spewing out. But I do believe they're up there for a national security purpose. And it may be a defensive purpose. Maybe they're trying to find out if enemy forces ever decided to bring drones in, a particular type of drone, are we capable of detecting it? But saying that, why doesn't the government tell us? We could take it. Don't you think we're intelligent enough that we could take it? And so all of the fear and all of the frustration goes away. What bothers me as a person in the military and has worked with military intelligence is all these people who are drawing theories and trying to make the American believe that what they're saying is factual. It is not factual. You have whistleblowers. You have people saying, well, and by the way, the politician that talked about the alleged Iranian ship that really doesn't exist, he actually said that he's talked to someone very high in the chain of command, a high-level intelligence operative that told him that. Absolutely nonsense. If somebody told them that, they're going to go to prison. So I hope to bring some balance here. Any questions you have, let's talk about it. Yeah. And boy, I was so glad when you said, well, how did you put it? Not suicidal. You're right. The Iranians are stupid, they're dumb, they're weak, but they are not suicidal.
Lieutenant, I'll announce it here that Jeff Van Drew, who is the congressman who made those claims, will be on the program tomorrow. You're welcome to join us and have this conversation. We look forward to asking the congressman these questions because I just can't believe that a military that swears an oath to defend America would allow hundreds, if not thousands, of foreign fixed-wing aircraft to freely fly over our most densely populated states, including the beautiful state that you're from, New Jersey.
An absolute very good point. And I'm glad you said it because if I said it, people would say, well, what do you expect the guy to say? You know, he's been in the military. But you said it. What the American people need to know is that we have young men and women all over this country, from your community, from mine, all over America, rural America, the larger cities, who take an oath of office. And believe me, I've been in there long enough to realize that if our military saw anything going awry that would hurt the American people, they would immediately get involved. We have generals, we have admirals, the greatest in the world are right here in the United States of America. And I could tell you, some of them have literally stopped. They have stopped certain actions being taken, at least the years I was in, that could end up being in a war. So the first group of people on earth who don't want a war are guess who? Our military, because they're the ones who will die. They're the ones who will shed blood.
Yes. It's part of the reason, obviously part of the reason why we want peace. We want peace in all of these theaters. We don't want things to spiral out of control. We don't want to be dragged into more wars. Some are speculating that these drones are sniffer drones. They're subject matter experts, not just crackpots or anons, but like legitimate subject matter experts that have gone viral and have said, listen, these drones have the capacities to look for radioactive material, gas leaks, threats that may be materializing for the holidays or for President Trump's inauguration. Does that stand to reason, given the fact that you were a naval intelligence officer in the military?
Well, I think some of that stands to reason because keep in mind, we have to be vigilant. We have to have the technology to, for example, detect any potential threat, whether it be in the land, the sea, or the air. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking, well, just maybe, not that I'm going to defend the government on this, they should be transparent, just maybe they don't want our enemies to know what they're doing up there. Because look, you know, Benny, not only are we looking at it, the American people, but our enemies are. They probably want to know what's going on there. What's scratching your head saying, what's going on in America? Who's responsible for the drones? Now, they may know because they have technology like we do. But the fact of the matter is, when I talked earlier about they might be testing these drones as a defensive measure against any potential threat, that sounds logical. But it's not the offensive end that I'm thinking about.
I'm sure you've been to MacDill Military Base. It's right down the street from where we're broadcasting right now. And it's where CENTCOM is located. And there's no shortage of very sophisticated weapon systems that are launched from there day and night. We often, if they're going to go supersonic or if there's going to be any major tests, we get notified, actually, because we live very close to the base. Sometimes there's a boom. Sometimes there's a crack. Sometimes you can see them flying overhead. It's pretty cool. I think it's freaking awesome. Yeah. But they notify us. And there's also an information line that residents can call and get, like, hey, this aircraft was flying at this time. It's great, right? In case your kids get scared or whatever. Why the hell are they doing that to the residents of your state? I mean, that seems like incredible on its face. It seems incredibly rude. It seems like you're creating panic.
They are. They are. There's no other way to put it. But if you notice, there haven't been any sightings over the White House, over the Capitol. There are no fly zones. Think about that. There are no fly zones. The military installations, probably, again, as you just articulated, our government may want to detect certain threats or the capability of us detecting certain threats. But all this panic is a result of the government not being transparent. What do they expect the people to do? What do they, and the media is just adding fuel to the fire. I mean, they're really adding fuel to the fire.
Sure, but tell us, right? It's like you're lying to us. So what do you expect us to do? We have to ask the question,
Yeah. So what we need to do is, like we're doing right now in our conversation, bring in some balance, letting the American people understand that there are experts in the field, and I'm not one of them, but I know enough to say this. We need to just calm down. I'm not saying trust the government. I'm saying trust our instincts, always get facts, look at the facts. And if the facts say, well, there is a possibility of A, B, and C, then there's your fact. But the facts do not conclude much of what we have heard. So I'm so grateful to be here and to share this with you.
Sure. Okay, so radiation hunting. You said that could be a possibility.
Anything could be a possibility. Absolutely. I wouldn't know if down the street there was a radiation problem or chemical problem in certain areas. Look at these drones are big enough to carry bombs and chemical weapons, no doubt about it. But that doesn't mean they're up there for that purpose. But I think it's good. I think it's good on the part of our government if they're doing such a thing to protect us. What's bad? They're not telling us. Well, yes. My goodness sakes, just tell us. We're intelligent human beings.
Yes.
And we understand. I understand what has to be kept secret. But if this was such a big secret deal, you're not going to have navigation lights on these drones. You're not going to allow anybody to see them. So maybe why they're up there secret, but you know what? They could tell us simply they're there for a legitimate reason. They're there to detect A, B, and C. They're there for our benefit, for our national security. And of course, you'll have people even question that, but at least we got something. Right now, we have nothing.
I have absolutely no instinct that these things are there, that these are being flown in order to harm the populations. I do believe, however, that harm has been done to our population by having an open border, and we have at least 1,000 people who are on the terrorist watch list who came into our country. Now, that's what our government tells us. Who knows what else was allowed into our nation? We know that fentanyl that kills 100,000 Americans, of course, pours across the southern border, and that having an open border is just the single most egregious national security violation in American history. And so who knows what was smuggled across that border and who was allowed to come into this nation. And when somebody says it's a dirty bomb and maybe they're trying to, F with the American people and do some type of horrible action, that does stand to reason, Lieutenant. And that maybe this administration is trying to cover their ass and find something before it starts. That seems to me to be the most logical explanation for what's going on.
It could be. Benny, I worked at the National FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, and we did a lot of intelligence gathering regarding the border. And our fear was that someone would walk in with a dirty bomb or someone would walk in with a powerful weapon.
Wow.
And at least when I was there was no evidence that was happening, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Okay.
Wow.
That all these years, maybe, you have cells being created all over the place. Now, only the FBI and the CIA, et cetera, know that right now. But saying that, we need to be vigilant. You see something, say something. Very important at this time in our history. And secondly, our government needed to take action a long time ago to shut that border down. We see it's going to happen soon. But believe me when I tell you that when it comes to the national security of the United States, we're going to see some very significant changes for the good down the road. Unfortunately, it got to this point, but you know who rose to the occasion? The American people. The American people rose to the occasion and said, enough's enough. America has to defend itself against all threats, foreign and domestic. and that's coming real soon. So there's our hope.
Just very quickly to pivot off of what you just said, how would that work? How would you smuggle, let's say, the theory out there is Soviet-era uranium, and they had a lot of bombs, and a lot of this stuff goes missing after the collapse of the Soviet Union. How would that work? How would you assemble a dirty bomb? Like, you've gone through the task force. You must have had maybe a schematic or a plan for like what happened.
I didn't, but I could tell you, speaking to experts in the field, they always talk about, well, they're not going to walk in carrying a bomb, right? They're going to piecemeal it. It's going to come in, maybe not the southern border, maybe the northern border. Look, we've got an unprotected border with Canada, and now our government's beginning to understand that. And it won't be one person involved, Benny. It'll be a dozen people maybe involved. There'll be a lot of communication, a lot of discussion. And by the way, a lot could be learned on the internet today, which is a problem. The ghost guns, bomb making material. I mean, things could be done domestically. Just get the right ingredients and you got yourself a powerful weapon. So there's so much involved here that has to be taken care of and addressed as we move forward. But we're going to do the best we could moving forward. I believe we're going to be fine down the road. And it's as a result of the American people rising up. And you said something before. You mentioned God a few times. I'm going to tell you something. I've read the Bible from cover to cover. I believe there's a lot of things going on that were prophesied by the prophets. And I believe this is a time, as Ronald Reagan said, this is a time for America to pray, for wisdom, for guidance, for understanding, especially for our leaders. And our prayers have been answered by the election of Donald Trump. I believe that. If he was Reagan, I'd say the same thing. So I believe that, at least from a spiritual point of view, things are under control. But we have to keep our eyes open, and we have to make sure that our best interests of America are going to be met by doing what we're doing right now. And talk about the American people.
Yeah. So you're saying that, given the fact that you've worked on these task force, and I agree entirely. We're only in this position. I only have like a little bit of confidence and a little bit of a stiff upper lip here because of a true confluence of miracles that kept President Trump alive and that brought us to this moment. So it's truly important and a very important state, and state with regularity. So God does have his hand on this nation. He does protect this nation. But there are dark forces at play and dark forces that wish and intend this country harm. For what end? For what end? I'm not sure. I don't have the heart to explain mass murder. But there are lots of dark forces that are within our borders that if they had a nuclear weapon, they would frickin' detonate it during the Macy's Day Parade. I mean, they would do it, right? And so the prevention of having those materials coming into the country, it does seem to be a massive priority, and it just wasn't prioritized.
But I could tell you this: what the American people don't know, and I know some of this to a degree, and I could share with you because it's no secret, is how many attempts were made, and the FBI, our CIA, our military stopped it. And all credit to them. We've heard a lot of the negative stuff about the Bureau, the FBI, and our agencies, the military. But those young men and women are working 24/7, and I can attest to the fact that they have prevented big disasters in this country. So they're working hard and they're succeeding. But the American people will never know the who, what, when, where, and why of that.
Well, I think that's a shame, frankly. I mean, I think that a government that keeps secrets
Yes.
from its people is operating outside of the constitutional bounds and limitations of the government. And also, it's like we're shareholders in this country, and we have a right to know if you keep this information from your shareholders and the people that are paying the bills in the country, you're defrauding them. And I'm a big proponent, obviously, of declassification of everything from the Epstein list to the JFK files. I think that secrets, by its very definition, the government keeping secrets from us by definitionally means that it's not a democracy, right? And so, this is a perfect example of that. I think they're creating mass hysteria for maybe it is just a training exercise. Look, freaking tell us. It's like
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's how you create distrust. All right. So if you were to like last question here, Lieutenant, if you were to put your reputation on what is exactly going on, given your incredible pedigree in law enforcement and in keeping this nation safe and your sacrifice for this nation, what would you say is actually happening to your home
U.S.
state?
the U.S. government testing aerial platforms, which are your drones, for defensive reasons. What defensive reasons, I don't know, but to sum it up the way you would like it summed up, and but simply say, these drones are not there to hurt us. They're there to protect us. But the government needs to come out and just level with us, let us know what's going on.
All right. Well, please run for governor of New Jersey, because that guy's a real goofball.
Yeah. I did in 2017 Republican primary. Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, that's what every New Jersey elected official that comes on, I say, please, Phil Murphy is a real ass clown. That guy. Yeah. Follow the great Lieutenant Stephen Rogers, who also shares, of course, the same name as Captain America.
Yes.
That's right, and who has a very Captain America background there and a very Captain America profile. Here, and you have great takes. I don't want things to go off the rails here. I don't want to cause extreme or mass panic. Flying a bunch of creepy aircraft over everyone's home is how you cause mass panic, and then lying to them. That's how you do it. So it's So hopefully they put you in charge of something, because you'd be better than what we got.
Well, hey, it was a real pleasure being on.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Godspeed, and please follow.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There
That's
you go.
right.
Thank you.
That's right.
Bye now.
You learn something new every day, right? It's like you got to talk to a wide range of people, and you got to talk to people who, what's the right way to say this? I'm not here to ruin anyone's Christmas, right? I just want the truth. We're entitled to the truth, since we pay the bills around here, and the government is spending a fortune flying these creepy planes all over our houses. So we are entitled to understand why that's happening. And I believe, absolutely, as the lieutenant said, we can take it. So freaking tell us, right? Yeah. The secrets are how the secrets are how they actually cause the panic. So anyway, if you want intelligence, like actual intelligence, you should go and check out some of the incredible free courses that are available right now at Hillsdale College. Hillsdale College is an awesome partner of this program. It's one of the ways that you can be smart. We wish to be as smart as possible on this show. We talk to you about some topics that are verboten on other programs and platforms, because we want you to be intelligent and understand the world around you. So does Hillsdale, ladies and gentlemen. Time is our most precious commodity. Use it wisely. Become smarter. Go to Hillsdale College right now and sign up for free. That's right, free, and you can learn, well, so much. You can learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories of the Book of Genesis, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the ancient history of the Christian church. That'd be a good one for Christmas time. You'll have a little extra time on your hands. Go right now to hillsdale.edu/Benny to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/Benny to register today. I checked this morning. There's no drone course. There's no New Jersey drone course yet. Okay? We'd like an answer to that, please. Our friends at Hillsdale, completely baller. If there was a place that would actually teach a course on this, on the government lying, it would in fact be Hillsdale College. Perfectly dovetailed in to this topic is President Trump at the Army-Navy game this weekend. Wanted to cover this because we want to show the force of nature that is warrior culture, masculine culture. We are back, baby. Donald Trump bringing Daniel Penny to the Army-Navy game. This is freaking awesome. It's President Trump waving to the crowd. We are back. We are back, boys. We are freaking back. Here's President Trump's reception at the actual game. Mm-hmm. Been waiting, ALX. I thought that we would have footage of the crowd when they see Donald Trump on the Jumbotron. Here's the Jumbotron, you can see. Donald Trump up on screen. I've been waiting for footage. Was anybody filming the crowd reaction when they showed Team America here? You got Elon Musk and JD Vance and Donald Trump. Look at this, freaking Chads. Freaking Chads. There's actual footage of the crowd from the crowd perspective. I was like, there's so many people filming. There's got to be show the cheers when they put Trump on the gun Jumbotron. Here we go. Yeah, boy. Look at him. Yeah. Ask and ye shall receive. There it is. freaking awesome. Donald Trump and Daniel Penny in the box. Daniel Penny is a Marine. He defended innocent American civilians. And because of a toxic cocktail of drugs and all types of mental illness, the individual who was threatening the lives of people on that subway car died in the defense of the innocent Americans who were there. But, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we, quite frankly, need to accept in society. But there are some people who have, I mean, Jordan Neely, who's the name of the guy who was walking through the subway car threatening death on his fellow citizens. This guy had been arrested like 42 different times. It's like a felon. He'd been homeless for years, decades. Been homeless, like a substance abuser. He's like threatened other people. Like he's been violent and threatening people. The best thing for Jordan Neely would have been being locked up in a mental institution. He would be here today. Instead, the city of New York allows this man to roam free instead of doing what is absolutely necessary for a guy like this and locking him up. Daniel Penny, practicing that toxic masculinity they warn you about, saving Americans' lives. He is exonerated of all charges. He is an American hero, and he's standing there with Donald Trump as the military cheers for toxic masculinity back in the White House. We experienced some of that this weekend at UFC. So awesome to be at UFC because you get to meet so many people, and it's incredible how these cultures blend together. Are you a UFC fan? Look at this. It's freaking awesome, man. Dana White pulled me up to like sit there and roll. Just freaking roll. I am totally not worthy of that seat. It's like the Trump seat. Trump wasn't there. But some other great members of Congress were there. Some of our awesome friends. We're building culture. Politics is downstream of culture. You must create culture first, and then you win in politics. Here's Aiden Ross and Tim Pool, freaking biggest streamers in the world. Some of the biggest streamers in the world. Tim has an awesome show. Consider him a friend. And Aiden Ross is just a total G, man. That dude is freaking lightning in a bottle. He's the biggest streamer on earth. And you could argue did the most consequential interview with President Trump in the 2024 presidential cycle. No, man, that was Joe Rogan. Well, I mean, you could argue both, actually. Freaking love Joe Rogan. No hate to Joe Rogan, but I'm telling you that Aiden Ross did something very different from Joe Rogan. It's hard to put them in the same bucket. Aiden Ross was out like showing cool dad vibes. President Trump dancing with Cybertruck, right? Do you remember that? Any of that? Like walking through Mar-a-Lago was dynamic. It was totally different. It was far more of a stream than an interview. And it showed Donald Trump's side. He's like playing music. Like showed this like different side of President Trump to tens of millions of young people who'd been told that Donald Trump's racist, Nazi, whatever. And it's like Donald Trump out dancing and playing music in the Cybertruck and like chilling out. It changed media forever. So awesome. This is how we build culture. This is how we build culture. Am I that much taller than Aiden Ross and Tim Pool? I don't know. Maybe it's a weird camera angle. Maybe it's a weird camera angle. Maybe I'm tall. Maybe I'm tall. I mean, I'm taller. Am I too tall for this industry? I'm too tall for the MMA. Tell you that, man. These guys were kicking ass, but much like wrestlers, it's like better to be like compact, like strong, like built like a little freaking like little like warrior, right? Aztec warrior. So it's like it was incredible to see. We got splattered with blood. It's freaking awesome. It's like warrior culture is back. It is very when we've seen Trump walk into these things, it is very much like in the arena. Here's some members of Congress that joined us as well. So Tim Pool joined us along with Anna Paulina Luna and Byron Donalds. You know both of them. Warrior culture is back, baby. And we need it back. Trump with Kash Patel in the box. Talk about something about as cool. I'm not sure. I mean, guys, I was vibing. I was vibing when Dana's like, "Here, sit down." And then we'd sit like for hours, ringside at UFC. But holy smokes, man, you're not gonna be able to beat Kash and Trump in the Czar, in the box there at Army Navy. It's beautiful. Baby. Cash looking great, right? That's a dude who's going to be your next FBI director. FBI. One crime that he will not have to look into is the ABC News crime against Donald Trump. Pretty amazing moment here. ABC News committed a crime against Donald Trump. They have been sued by Donald Trump. Here's the crime. Defamation, slander. They said that Donald Trump was found guilty of rape. Nope. It was actually the exact opposite, in fact. He was exonerated by a New York jury in the worst of all days, right? Like in the worst, in like when the lawfare had ratcheted up. Talk about somebody who has the height of a streamer. I mean, this guy, look at George Stephanopoulos. Look at how small that guy is. It's like fit in Aiden Ross's pocket. Look at that. Yeah, look at the green lines on all this. Yeah, it's one thing if your green lines are off, if you're like kind of cramped in, like crowded, okay? That my green lines were off a little bit during the UFC. But it's a totally different thing if you're like in an empty room with someone. Look at those green lines. Look what a mess. Donald Trump, straight as Nero. George Stephanopoulos, little crooked weasel. ABC News has to pay Donald Trump $15 million. ABC News just founded President Trump's presidential library, which I hope is in Florida. I think it's going to be in Florida. Who knows? But I would bet my bottom dollar that's going to be built in Florida, most likely. President Trump's presidential library is now going to be founded. The first donation by ABC News. How glorious is that? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the breaking news on it. $15 million. Trump wins again.
Eric, thank you. We have breaking news. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos have reached a settlement with President-elect Trump in his defamation lawsuit. The network agrees to pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to Trump's presidential library. ABC and Stephanopoulos will also issue statements of regret as an editor's note to the March 2024 article and television segment that prompted Trump to file the lawsuit earlier this year. Trump sued Stephanopoulos after he asserted in an interview that Trump was found, quote, liable for rape in a civil case, despite the fact that a jury actually determined Trump was liable for, quote, sexual abuse, which has a distinct definition under New York law.
These idiots knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, they freaking knew it, right? Like they knew what they were doing. And they set him up anyway. And now there are going to be actual real consequences. Now we run this ship. Donald Trump moments ago talking about suing other people. So you should be a little scared about that. There's a lady named Ann Seltzer, who is this pollster in Iowa who's corrupt as hell and came out with this poll on the eve of the election that Donald Trump was going to lose Iowa. That Kamala Harris was up by 5 points in Iowa. Donald Trump ended up winning by 15 points in Iowa. And Trump says he might sue this lady because she was clearly working in coordination and being funded by the Democrat Party. Well. These are things that you have to disclose. There are rules about this kind of stuff. And she was attempting to rig an election. The way you do that is you would say that Donald Trump's so far behind and you try and demoralize. It's called a suppression poll. Try and demoralize his base. But this is President Trump at a press conference, like kind of a Q&A that he had moments ago after his announcement at Mar-a-Lago. Let's rock and roll.
To be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers. And it was interesting the way she did it. She brought it down 2 weeks before. She said I was going to only win by 4. That was a big story. But that was good because she brought it down from like 22 points to 4 or whatever the number was. Way up. An easy win. Never even thought to go there. I respect them. I love them. And they understand there's no reason to go there because she brought it from way up, walk away, which it was. And it turned out to be in the election, too, by the way. It was a win by many, many points. And then she brought it down very smartly to 4 a couple of weeks before. And everyone said, wow, that's amazing. He's only up by 4 points. Then she brought it down to where it was down by 3 or 4, whatever number she used. And that was the Des Moines Register, and it was their parent. And in my opinion, it was fraud, and it was election interference. You know, she's gotten me right always. She's a very good pollster. She knows what she was doing. And she then quit before. And we'll probably be filing a major lawsuit against them today or tomorrow. We're filing one on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was a crazy answer, a horrible answer, and they took the whole answer out and they replaced it with something else she said later on in the interview, which wasn't a great answer, but it wasn't like the first one. The first was grossly incompetent. It was weird.
Sue him. You know, there's part of the way that you actually fix these problems in the country is you cause deep financial pain. George Stephanopoulos deleted his X account. George Stephanopoulos and ABC News has to pay $15 million to Trump. I mean, that's pain, man. They have to do an on-air apology. Hey, Alexa, have they done like an on-air apology yet? Donald Trump's not going to apologize to the senators who vote against his nominees. We are waging a holy war against cuck rhinos in the Senate. Mitch McConnell, wheelchair-bound Mitch McConnell, who can't stand upright and keeps slamming his head against tables. We don't want that to happen. I'm not making fun of him. I'm the best friend Mitch McConnell's got in the world. I'm telling him to resign. You are not fit for office. We actually care about you more than obviously your own family or you care about yourself. We're telling you to do the right thing, resign, check into a nursing home. For the end of your days, live your days in Kentucky horse pasture. You're staring at the horses and the birds, feeding the birds. That's what Mitch McConnell should be doing. Not trying to run stuff. He's like, Mitch McConnell's like doing interviews and stuff, not on camera. Yeah, not on camera. That's how you know, right? That's how you know. Never on camera, of course. With anti-Trump media, just written interviews talking about how strong he is and everything. Yeah, right. What's going to happen to senators that vote against President Trump? President Trump sounding off moments ago.
Should senators who oppose your nominees, your cabinet nominees, should they be primary?
If they are unreasonable, I'll give you a different answer, an answer that you'll be shocked to hear. If they're unreasonable, if they're opposing somebody for political reasons or stupid reasons, I would say has nothing to do with me. I would say they probably would be primary. But if they're reasonable, fair, and really disagree with something or somebody, I can see that happening. But I do believe that if they're I think we have great people. I think we have a great group of people. Pam has been unbelievably received. You take a look, Pam Bondi. So many have been just unbelievably received. I think Pete Hegseth is making tremendous strides over the last week. He's going to be great. Look, he went to Princeton, he went to Harvard, he was a great student there, but he really was, from the first day I met him, all he wanted to talk about was military. He's just a military guy. I think it's a natural. This was my idea. And you know, Pete Hegseth gave up a lot.
Good. Good. How do you solve a media ecosystem that doesn't inform the public? How do you solve a system in the Senate or in Congress or in Washington, D.C. that doesn't listen to the American public and their priorities? I mean, we have sent Donald Trump with commanding majorities into the office twice now. The American people have made themselves heard as loud as we possibly can. In 2016, Trump had the Senate, the House, and the presidency. In 2024, Trump gets the Senate, the House, and the presidency. How many times do we need to make it known that this is the agenda of the nation? This is what the majority wants, and if you actually have a democracy, the majority gets what they want. Maybe not overnight, but over time, the majority rules. That is the point of a republic. It's a point of a democracy. So yeah, senators should be kicked the hell out of office, and news companies, if they report false things, should be sued into oblivion. Ladies and gentlemen, part of the way to scare the hell out of the Republican Senate, and the last little bit, I mean, it's really just Murkowski, Collins, and McConnell. That's it. Murkowski, Collins, and McConnell. Those are the problems, okay? Now, we sadly have a 53-seat majority. Should have been a 56-seat majority. They should have been irrelevant. I think that Mitch McConnell literally lost seats. Mitch McConnell went out of his way to make sure that Republicans lose so that he could be in charge of a wing of the party that sabotages Trump. I personally believe that in my soul. Okay? Based on the guy's actions, I think that makes a lot of sense, quite honestly. The way to blow all that up is to make sure that Laura Trump gets a seat in the Senate. We freaking want that. We've been advocates for it. Laura Trump was first on our program saying that she will accept the position of senator from the state of Florida. That seat will be open when Marco Rubio gets into gets to become Secretary of State, and Marco Rubio is going to get like probably 80 or 85 votes in the Senate. Okay, so Marco Rubio is going to be one of the first people out of there. Then Ron DeSantis needs to appoint. I want it to be Lord Trump. What does Trump have to say about it? Let's go.
Mr. President. Yes, please.
Do you expect Ron DeSantis to appoint Laura Trump to Senator Marco Rubio's seat?
No, I don't. I probably don't, but I don't know. Ron's doing a good job. That's his choice. Nothing to do with me. Laura's unbelievable. I mean, she was incredible. The job she did at the RNC as chairman, along with Michael Whatley, the combination. But I can just speak for Laura. She is so highly respected by women. I mean, even her workout routines are through the roof. She lifts 150 pounds. I don't know how the hell she does it. She's a bad example for men and women sports. Because I wouldn't be able to beat her, I don't believe. I'd try like hell. But no, she's an incredible woman. And, you know, it's funny, people oftentimes talk about nepotism. I never had, when I put her there, people said, how did you get her to do it? You know, she could have run for the Senate in North Carolina. Ted Budd would be the first to say. And he wouldn't have run. Nobody would have run. And she just said, no, I want to really focus on my children. When the election, and my family, she has a great family. When the election started getting closer, I asked her, would she go to Washington and work on the, you know, as chairman of the committee along with Michael Whatley. And they did such an unbelievable job, especially on cheating. They stopped it, or at least they stymied it. Too big to rig. And we won in a landslide. You know, we won tremendously. She did an amazing job. Now Ron is going to have to make, because Marco has been really a star already, and we haven't started, but you know, we see signs of from some people, or very early, we see signs of stardom, and Marco has done incredibly. He's sort of born for it. It was such an easy decision. The Marco decision was such an easy, but he leaves a vacancy in Florida, and Ron's going to have to make that decision, and he'll make the right decision. I also know that Laura's got so many other things. I mean, she's got so many other things. People want her to be on television. They want to give her contracts. You know, her predominant thought is our country and her family. Those are her thoughts. But she's got so many other things that she's talking about. He'll make the right decision.
Very interesting. You know, there's things that Trump can legally say. I'm not sure that I'm not sure it looks good for Trump to be advocating for Laura Trump, right, from a muscular position, and make it seem like he's like, I'm not sure it's smart politics, okay? I can do it, and we're going to do it on this program, ladies and gentlemen, because we want Laura Trump in the chair. We want Laura Trump there. So Donald Trump making some news there in a Q&A from reporters after the announcement that the country is going to get $100 billion, and then another $100 billion on top of that. The art of the deal, literally live on this program, is so awesome. Donald Trump doing this across the entire space. We learned so very much this weekend about Mark Zuckerberg and the tech space. It was very, very fascinating conversations that we had. You know, at these big events, you get a lot of people wanting to come up and talk with you, and a lot of people know a lot of things. Very interesting. Tech leaders, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Cook, and Pashai. Am I saying that right? Pake. Can I get a pronouncer on that? This is the guy from Google. So it's Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Google. Look for FaceTime with Trump. Or FaceTime, who knows. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Sundar from Google, and Tim Cook have all reportedly been getting downs on and off the books with President Trump before his election starts. This is totally different from last time, but a very, very important topic of conversation, because These are the companies that lead to American invasion, but also stifle free speech. Every single one of these companies stifle free speech and are the enemy of our movement. Donald Trump is making inroads. He's being very, very gracious, we hear, in these meetings. He's breaking people's balls. But like half these people banned Trump. YouTube banned Trump. Instagram banned Trump. Facebook banned Trump. X banned Trump. And of course, famously brought Trump back with Elon Musk purchasing Facebook. What many are saying is the most important, the single most consequential move in Western civilization history. That's what was said this weekend. You know, Elon Musk saying time will tell. But Elon Musk famously brought back Trump the same night he brought back ALX, our executive producer. So a feather in ALX's cap there. This is good. This is good. I support it. I want this. You know, this is why I'm worried about the Tucker Carlson report that we're not even talking with Russia. You must be able to speak. You must be able to talk. You must be able to have open lines of communication. This was a psyop to try and silo off and ghettoize the conservative movement and the MAGA movement. This is a psyop to try and like break us out of the mainstream. We are culture. We are the mainstream. And the way that you fix that permanently is you actually reintroduce this worldview, the most popular worldview in the world. The America First movement is the most powerful movement on earth. You reintroduce that. You create space for that on your social media platforms. It's a great business for these platforms. It's so stupid for Facebook to like shut down conservatives. Conservatives make up 60% of Facebook. It's so dumb. And to have all the like rules that go against everything from free speech to the Second Amendment. No, man. This is the country we live in. We're proud gun owners. At the show, ladies and gentlemen, we're proud friends and partners with Spikes Tactical. Our Monday Gun Day today brought to you by Spikes Tactical. New Jersey Attorney General ridiculed on social media after bragging about suing Glock. Don't you have better things to do? What's wrong with these states? Scott Presler just came out with a report that effectively voter registrations in Pennsylvania are equal. Hey, Alex, can you grab that? He just posted it on X. Scott Presler comes out with a report saying, our work here is nearly finished. You know, it's amazing. Like, the Democrats used to have a huge advantage in Florida. Republicans really got their asses, handed to them in the state and in many elections, and it's really terrible because there was just a lack of organization. Now that the state's been organized, and a lot of credit to Ron DeSantis for doing that, and to Rick Scott, who's a friend of our show, who sort of laid the groundwork for it. Now the Republican Party's organized. Now we have like 1 million more Republicans registered in Florida than Democrats? They've lost Florida forever. And it's happening in Pennsylvania as well. The reason I'm saying this is because Scott Presler has announced that he's going to be moving to New Jersey to do the same thing. New Jersey is just literally a whisker away from being a red state. New Jersey is, by every measure, a swing state. Jackasses like this had better, take a photo of their offices because they're going to lose, man. They're going to lose. New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin was ridiculed on social media after bragging that he was filing a lawsuit against Glock. Breitbart News reported that Platkin and Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, who is a Marxist, a literal Marxist who supports Antifa, are leading a coalition of 12 other attorney generals in the District of Columbia to file action against Glock. The suit is over the criminal use of switches that convert semi-automatic Glock handguns into fully automatic firearms. Glock does not make the switches, and their use in the United States is already illegal, but the attorney generals claim Glock needs to change their way. Their guns are made so the switches will not work. See, it really is. I saw something just so beautiful this weekend about it. They're suing they're suing the gun manufacturers. Suing a gun manufacturer for the death of an American is like suing the spoon for making you fat. It's like suing the car for drunk driving. It's the single stupidest action that can be taken to mask what's really happening in this nation. And I find it amazing that guys like this in New Jersey, wouldn't dare talk about what's actually happening with gun crime in this nation. Because, they've never found an NRA member that's committed like a mass murder. Do you know that? Do you know that like the mass shootings have never been done by a guy who's like an NRA, like an NRA member? There are populations in this country that commit the gun crimes. Those populations are criminals. They don't abide by these gun laws. Like, suing Glock isn't your problem. Your problem is you don't put criminals in prison. Your problem is that you're allowing criminals to, more often than not, acquire guns illegally and then use them for crimes. Because that's what criminals do. But you'll never find Keith Ellison talking about that. You'll never find guys like, what the hell's his name? Matt Platkin, Attorney General in New Jersey, explaining to you the demographic information about gun crime. And what's actually happening. We should do a whole special on it. I'm very passionate about this issue. Because what they do is they take the one, like this, like scintilla, less than like a fraction of a percent of criminals in this nation that commit gun crimes, and they smear and slander the rest of us who are doing everything to hold the side up in this country. The only reason that there weren't Gestapo troops going door to door during COVID to take your children from you is our Second Amendment. That is a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen. So I stand against these guys. I also want a safe country. I also want guns to be responsibly used, obviously. I'll tell you this. I will join them in looking critically at these things when they do two things. Here, let me start. Message to you, Matt Platkin. I'll do two things. One, disarm your security. You want a gun grab? You want to limit my access to guns? Disarm your security or enforce the same measures that you want to take on me, on your private security. Do that. Start there. Okay? All these guys walk around with a phalanx of armed guards. AOC as well. As Bernie Sanders as well. As Joe Biden as well. Joe Biden, the biggest gun grabber president in our lifetime. Item number 2. Talk about actual gun crime and the demographics and statistics around gun crime. Who are the gun criminals exactly? Why don't you give us honest data? Why don't you give us real data about what's actually happening? You're so concerned about gun crime, yet you didn't say a effing thing. You were quiet as the grave when Joe Biden pardoned his gun criminal son. Well, isn't that interesting? These people are such frauds. They're such frauds. I can't wait to do more debates. We're going to be doing more debates. We're going to be going out in the streets. We're going to be doing more debates with these people. We're going to be like doing a little more confrontation because it's so easy. You all watch me like roast Destiny and stuff, like when I'm on Piers Morgan. These people are such frauds. It's like so easy. It's like shadow boxing. It's so simple. Okay, you just fucking let them implode, and you just ask the question. Oh, okay. You're so concerned about gun criminals. Why don't you right now disavow Joe Biden? Because he pardoned his gun criminal kid. Go. It's so simple. It's really, these arguments are very, very simple. Anyway, these people are frauds. From my cold dead hands is the way that I say it. And that's why we have Spikes Tactical here in the studio. Even in our Christmas studio, we have our Spikes Tactical. It's perfect for the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that the only person that is intruding on your home this year is Santa Claus. Okay, all right, that's it. The only guy who's allowed, okay, to pop on in, leave the presents, and get the hell out. Okay, all right. The Spikes Tactical, the official AR-15 of the Johnson household, ladies and gentlemen, and an awesome, patriotic, incredible company. All right. Okay. So we are set to go. And, man, there's just so much breaking news right now. And it's a really exciting moment. We have some very exciting news that we can't talk about just right now. But we are, ready to lock in. We are going to be traveling this week to Arizona for America Fest. And this is going to be awesome. If you're in the area, if you wish to travel, we'll put up the promo graphics right now. Alex, I want to promo every single show, please. For this, we're going to be going to America Fest. We're going to be having a great time there. We're going to be speaking. There are going to be some very, very special guests. President Trump is going to be one of them. We're going to be doing some very special content while we're there. We're excited about it, and we're excited to bring that to you. Please join us. It's going to be live streamed. We're going to be doing our show the entire week, and we're going to be doing a show also on Friday. But that's where we have to. Well, that's the day that we're going to be speaking. So we're working on the logistics for that. So it's called America Fest. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. Brought to you by Turning Point and Turning Point Action. And the list of speakers, we got those. I think you just swipe right over. Yeah, you just swipe back. Oh, it's Donald Trump. Okay, well, there's also a great list of speakers. You're going to know all of them. Most of them are, virtually all of them are friends of the show. And so let it rip roar. This is what we're going to be doing at the very end of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be awesome, and we always have a really, really fun time. If you are there, we're going to be doing meet and greets, and I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a live show or not, but we're going to be doing a lot of live content. Holy smokes, look at that. Goodness gracious. They keep adding to the list constantly. But just the top line, I mean, freaking, you got Tucker Carlson and Glenn Beck, Steve Bannon, Don Jr., Speaker of the House, some absolute legends that are going to be speaking. Freaking awesome. Freaking great. Oh, good. Tom Homan's right there. Okay, fantastic. Hey, here you go. Okay, perfect. Oh, UFC champs on there? Okay, beautiful. Hey, Kobe Covington. Man, what a warrior that guy is. A freaking warrior. What a tough dude. Kobe Covington. I don't know if you saw the fight this weekend, but that dude is ready to rock. That dude is rocking. We will be rocking all week. We're excited to look forward to joining you. Do we have the poll numbers? What do we have for the end of the poll here? I'm looking at it right now. Okay, it looks like 79% say it's the U.S. military. 79%. Yeah, hasn't budged. It's got 15,000 votes. American military. Okay, I agree. I mean, I totally agree with you. Whose name's going on the who's going on the stocking? What's our number one super chat that we had this show? ALX, what do we got? What's our number one super chat? We're doing this. We're putting it up on the stocking. Hold on. I think I got it right here. There you go. Oh, wow. Dale Davis, $50. Let's have another great Santa store for all families. Wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dale Davis, your name goes on that stocking right there. We'll put you up every single show this week. Top super chat gets their name on a stocking inside the studio. What? That was just an idea we came up with before the event, before going live today. So that's how we're gonna roll this week. We have a lot of really fun things that we're gonna be doing. We're very, very excited for launching in the future, like ways for us to interact with chat. And as I'm scrolling through here, man, people are very upset about the way I say nuclear. Please say nuclear, not nuclear. Am I saying it wrong? What? Killer Klein, how do you say nuclear? Nuclear. 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 Okay.
I like your mispronunciations. Amish.
Nuclear. That's it. Amish. People got very upset at the way I say Amish. I was raised by a bunch of Amish in Iowa, okay? So guys, okay, get off my back. I'm going to keep saying Amish. I'll fix my nuclear. I don't want to sound like George Bush. No matter what, I do not want to sound like George Bush. No matter what, that's the one thing we must prevent. Okay? Congratulations to Dale Davis. And you'll see Dale Davis on that stocking tomorrow. And if you want to be on any of these stockings, ladies and gentlemen, well, we'll have a super chat week here. Okay? We'll do our super chats for the week. And we're going to be reading them. We're going to be reading them out, and we're going to be building in a super chat Q&A with regularity on the program. We're going to be doing super chats with regularity. Hang out with Tim Pool all weekend. Learn the power of super chats. So it's been my fault. It's because something, as we learn and grow here, something that we just don't, haven't built into the program. So we're working it out. Gifts this holiday season is part of our gift for you. I think I'll be gifting a bunch of I'll be gifting like a bunch of memberships. We're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff on X. We're going to try and give like I think thousands of verification badges on X. I'm working right now like with X to try and do that, like give away verification and stuff. It's gonna be a really fun ride over the next couple of days. Gifts this holiday season: gold, frankincense, and myrrh, man. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Have I ever gotten gold, frankincense, or myrrh? I don't even know if I saw frankincense and myrrh. I'm not sure I'd even know what they were, but I would know gold because I own gold. I own gold through my friends at Allegiance Gold, ladies and gentlemen. Since Donald Trump returning to office, Republicans taking control of the House and Senate. It's huge news, but we face massive challenges. 4 years of chaos, rampant inflation, interest rates through the roof. Make sure you're going gold this holiday season. Go gold with diversification of your investment. And I've been very, very happy with my investment in gold, quite frankly. Allegiance Gold is taking care of me. They can take care of you. Go to protectwithbenny.com today or call 844-66-BENNY. That's 844-66-BENNY and let them help you get started. Protectwithbenny.com today. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorneys and financial professionals before making an investment decision. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. What do you know? Frankincense is spice. Myrrh is like also kind of like, I'm so sorry I don't actually know these things. My wife probably knows. She's probably screaming at me right now. Myrrh. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I would know myrrh, but I would, but I don't actually know. I don't actually know. I'm happy to admit to you that I'm dumb. I'm happy to admit to you that I'm ignorant. I'm happy to admit to you that I'm wrong. Go.
It's like a resin that comes from a certain tree that's used for medicine and perfumery.
Perfume and medicine, resin from a tree. If you are a myrrh farmer, then I salute you. If you are Amish and a myrrh farmer, I'm still going to call you an Amish. Okay? So there you go. That's it. I'm sorry if I've offended you, myrrh farmers. If you are a myrrh farmer, please let us know. Let our producer know. It would be cool. Have you on the show talking about it. maybe our Christmas episode we can talk about. What is myrrh? Ladies and gentlemen, I know I know that I read my Bible. I encourage you to do the same thing. And I sometimes read. I often read the Bible and don't actually know what's going on. I have to research it, right? And I have to research the context and everything. So we just did that live. Here's a verse that you won't have to research because it's from Ephesians 6:5, and it's pretty hardcore and it's pretty straight to the point. Put on the peace that comes from the good news, so that you will be fully prepared. This is building out sort of the armor of God. Make sure that you are fully prepared with good news. We do our very best to try and be good. So something that we heard this weekend. Some dude comes up to me at UFC and is like, "You actually." Yeah, I actually started watching news again. I had totally logged off, deleted everything. I started watching news again because of your program, because you didn't make me want to frickin' leave the country, kill myself, right? It's like, yeah, well, I mean, sure, but also, yes, this is what we do here. We are trying to uplift. We're trying to white pill. And we have a firm belief that God ain't done with his country yet. And boy, has the Lord proved that to all of us over the past year. So, no, don't take the black pill. No, don't be a doomer. Like, be uplifted, especially in this season, and live in thanksgiving for what God has given us. Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. We are thankful for you. Hearts out to the chat. The old heart to the chat, okay? It's your boy Benny. Can't destroy an army of happy warriors, and that's what we have here. It's fun to fight alongside you. Have yourself a great Monday, and this is the greatest country on earth. See ya.
She told some people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money.
Don't push. Merry Christmas.
I made the ransom of charge accounts.
I'm saving this money for a divorce if ever I get a husband. Christ is born in Bethlehem. Merry Christmas.
Teacher says every time a bell rings, Joe Biden falls down the stairs.
That's right.
That's right.
There it is. The holy grail of Christmas gifts, the Rick Scott and Laura Trump combo Florida Senate package.
Ralphie, what would you like for Christmas?
Horrified, I heard myself blurt it out.
I want an official Rick Scott and Laura Trump combo killer Florida Senate package that will shoot your eye out.
Wow, that's great.
What is that?
Ho, ho, holy crap! What is going on down there? We need to get out of here. Whoa!
Jesus H. Christ. Well, if there is one thing in this world that I hate, it is an unlocked footlocker. You know that, don't you?
Sir, yes, sir.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the is that? What is that private pile?
Sir, jelly donuts, sir.
Is chow allowed in the barracks private pile?
Sir, no, sir.
Are you allowed to eat jelly donuts private pile?
Sir, no, sir.
Because you are a disgusting fat body private pile.
Sir, yes, sir.
Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.